Marketing Management, Term 1. That's 18 hours of continuous learning on marketing management. I hope that it'll be an interactive session. I'm always open to be interrupted during the conversation, during my process of lecturing. Raise your hand the technology way, or it doesn't work, go ahead and unmute yourself and ask your question. This said, of course, I'm going to run through it in finer details, and I briefly introduced myself in our class or introduction or orientation class yesterday. I'll get into a slightly more specific introduction. As always, this is a digital world, and I source a lot of data, I source a lot of information from all over the places, needless to say, with Google leading the way. And so it's virtually impossible for me to acknowledge, thank the various sources for it, but here is one short acknowledgement for all that's here today and will be coming later on. And I just want to make sure that all rights are acknowledged, and this content is not going anywhere beyond your desktops. This was what the list I did in my previous class. I'm going to run through this list one more time. And you've chosen this list, you've chosen this course on your own, hopefully with your money. So it's in your interest to learn and understand and make the better of your career. For many of us here this evening or this afternoon, it's been avatar number 2, and it's probably with few years of work experience that you are sitting here and decided to come back to the classroom after very many sessions. So for all of you, welcome back to the classroom. Needless to say, there are certain rules and procedures that you would need to follow. Some of them were already told to you in the previous class. Top on the list is attendance in the class is mandatory. It's even more easier now that the whole class has gone online. The third on the list is completing your assignments and submitting them on the LMS. Yeah, unfortunately, all of us have the same deadlines, August 24th or 25th, which means that you're going to run 2 parallel tracks. Eventually, those 2 parallel tracks will become 4 parallel tracks with 2 more classes coming up. So all of them may have the same deadline. That's the first step towards managing to be a manager, is to run multiple sessions and multiple activities. I'll also try conducting a few offline assignments and discussions. These, of course, are not mandatory for you to participate. And if you do good enough, just it helps you keep yourself entertained and also start learning a bit more. I said in the previous term when we were actually physically present in class, I said you are most advised to go out and pick up your call or text a message. But while you are in the class, pay attention. But now that you're online, I still expect you to pay attention while you're there. I'm going to keep going to point number 1. It's you who chosen to do this course. You were not compelled by your parents or your spouse or anyone. So pay attention for your own benefit. Online classes, these are a few things that I put up. As you can see, the new add-ons to the list. Online etiquettes are to be followed, whatever that means. You decide what it means. I will try to pause periodically every 10-15 minutes and open up for questions. Honestly, in some way, it's a learning experience for both of us as we adapt to a different mode of education and learning. Let's help each other make it easier for all of us. I will answer chat questions, typos obviously accepted. I don't, typos don't matter. And then voice questions. I'll keep looking at the chats as they're coming in. Your discipline is crucial for a smooth flow of the class. Yes, I honestly request you, backgrounds can be irritating, and let's try. Some backgrounds are unavoidable, and after all, we are working from home in some sense and learning from home. So as long as we can fix the background very quickly, fair enough. There are no prescribed books. Neither is there a fixed syllabus. Now that makes life easier for me, makes life tougher for you. Okay, so which means that there are only course outlines, and as a management course, the outlines are just outlines, just like the border between India and Pakistan. You can enter finger number 4, I can enter finger number 8, or whatever these learnings are out of the Gadwan Valley region. So just an outline. Exams can be partly out of syllabus, exams can be definitely out of syllabus. Why am I saying so? So is life and so is business. You can get a bouncer from nowhere. You can have a well-paying customer walk out, or you could get some unknown customer walk in. So it's all part of life and management. Go ahead and try to make the best of your course. And this is a management course. We intend to create better managers. And yeah, that's it. Point number 9 is obvious. I'm here to teach. You're here to learn. And let that relationship be clear. That said, I try to make the class humorous. I make the class fun. And I want the class to be interactive. Any questions so far? Go ahead, just ask. No questions so far is a good beginning. I'd like to introduce myself. Yeah, go ahead, Pawan.
I just got a mail from Rajan sir saying that second assignment is on 13th September. Is that correct? You just said it's the 23rd August, right?
You must go by, I think, 25th of August would be. Second assignment is far away. Let's cross bridge number 1. First assignment. Okay.
Okay. I mean, the dates I have gotten.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Maybe it's correct. Maybe it's correct. Maybe it's wrong. I don't know.
I think I know the answer for that. That's for the second two sets of courses which will come a fortnight later, around August 14th and 15th. We'll do 2 more subjects. Those assignments will have a 1-month window where you can submit on September 13th. That's how I think it has been decided.
Okay. Thank you. Thanks for the information.
Yeah. So general rule. September 13th is the assignment due. So general suggested way, or let's say go by my assignment deadline. General assignment due is on 25th of August. I highly advise you guys to start working on it from 24th August evening onwards. That ensures highest efficiency of performance. Okay. No, don't bother what deadlines are, but start working on it right away, and pay attention to the fact that you will be clogged with a lot of deadlines. And as far as possible, deadlines are subject specific. So my deadline is 25th of August. So let's stick to it. Okay.
Can I just chip in for a minute, Professor Ramesh?
Yeah, please, sir. Go ahead.
Yeah. So the deadline is right. What he is indicating is that I think I had shown it also in my class. There are 2 deadlines. There are 2 assignments, assignment 1 and assignment 2. So the first assignment generally for all courses will be around August 25th or so, and then give or take a week. That will be decided by Professor Rajan and the individual faculty. The second assignment will kick off about September 13th and give or take a week. because they have their exams in October. Yeah.
So, go ahead.
So that is the general flow. So assignment 1 in the later part of August, assignment 2 sometime in the later part of September, and then you have the exams in October. So that's the flow.
That's clarity right from the head. So is
Sir,
that?
I have one more question. Like in first semester, we have just 2 assignments, or it's per subject we have 2 assignments.
You have eight assignments.
Okay. Okay, sir. Thank you.
Can I see that smile on your face for that?
So you have 2 assignments per course. So let's be clear about, let's call these things as, let's not use the word subject. It confuses the whole issue. Marketing management that Professor Ramesh is teaching is a course. I teach a course and we have a program. So the program consists of courses. The program is the MBA program, EMBA program, and the EMBA program is populated by different courses. Each course has 2 assignments. Each assignment for you carries 30 marks. Your semester end exam carries 40 marks. 30, 30, 40 is 100 marks.
Yeah, I hope that's clear, everyone.
That's clear.
Yes, sir. Yes.
Fine, fair enough.
Yeah, very clear.
Very
Okay,
clear.
while we have the dean here, I think let's continue to have him for a minute here, and let's try fixing up any other operational or exam-related issues once for all. I'm sure you did ask some of them in his own class, but I think we will allow you another repeat so that you don't you well.
Yeah, we'll take a couple of quick minutes. Thank you, Professor Ramesh,
Yeah.
allowing me into your class.
Yeah,
And,
yeah. Please do sit through. Yeah. Okay.
And,
so, any other questions on this, on the exam part of it? I hope everything is clear. And
Okay, sir, I have one quick question with regards to exams. So, if it is on the month of October, like, so when we get to see the dates so that we can plan our leaves in office, and then so that we have those days.
we'll come, we'll give them to you as ASAP, maybe Monday, Tuesday.
Okay, fine. Thank you, sir.
Professor, can you please repeat that marks structure for us?
30, 30, 40.
30, 30, 40. Can you please brief on that?
Who's asking this question?
It's Robert.
Brief means brief what? I'm not getting the question.
As you said that, right? 34 assignments, something.
Chief, you have 2 assignments per course. Yeah, I have already put up my assignment for organization theory on the LMS, Learning Management System. Please get your login credentials from Arvind. Go to the website of the Anand Sagar University, Executive Education. You will find student login, faculty login. Click on the student login. Put in the login credentials, that is whatever name and password, login. Then you will come to a home page. On the home page, you click on organization theory or marketing management or accounting or HR. And then you will find assignment number 1. Click on assignment number 1, read it carefully. They will tell you perfectly clearly what to do. Please execute that. Assignment number 1 carries 30 marks. Similarly, for me, assignment number 1 has a deadline of August 24th. There is another assignment, assignment number 2, which will also carry 30 marks. That will come later, sometime in September. I will put it up shortly. Then there will be a semester end or a trimester end examination for 40 marks. That will occur in October. So you need to get 40% marks in a combination of assignment and 1 and 2. There is 60 marks, 40% of 60 is 24. If you get less than 24, you will fail. If you get more than 24, you're eligible to take the semester end examinations, which is 40 marks. You again have to get 40% of 40, that's 16 marks. If you get less than 16, you fail. If you get more than 16, you pass. The combination of the two on 100 is what you receive.
Thanks, Professor. That's good enough. Thank you.
Yeah. Any other
Okay.
question?
Yeah, any other questions? And get over it if it's on the back of your mind.
Yeah.
I would honestly, you will no longer be entertained on these matters of assignment and exam and marks right after this. So
No
your
problem. No
last
problem.
chance to take
It's
a
okay.
shot.
It's okay. No, my only submission to all of you is don't be anxious. There's nothing to be anxious about. You're not missing out anything, right? Please be clear about whom you have to ask what. So all examination related questions you direct to Professor V.V. Rajan. All issues related to your operational issues, that is learning management system, classroom, what is happening, who's the professor, all you direct to Mr. Arvind, whose birthday it is today, incident. Okay. And all academic related issues, that is syllabus, what degree I will get, and so on and so forth, you direct to me. I am the dean. So that is academic issues. There is also Malti madam who's there. You can direct to her also a lot of issues related to your fees payments, and also what's happening in the class, or why you're not able to submit an assignment. She's also a counselor, so you can get some counseling. So these are the 4 operators. And then we've got Dr. Rahul DA, who takes charge of MOOC courses, MOOCs. So you can also talk to Rahul if you want to do any extra courses called Massive Open Online Courses, MOOCs, which come from the best universities of the world. I suggest that you take a look at them and try to do some additional this thing. So yeah, somebody, Mr. Agarwal, you had something to say?
Sir, I would like to ask, sir.
Yes.
Sir, we will be having different credentials for our LMS.
Yes, obviously. All of you can't have one credential, no?
Okay, fine.
So obviously each of you will have a different credential because you are marked differently. And if you are not able to log in or you don't see yourself, please write to me. I'll be more than happy to share the assignment. You can start working on it.
Okay, sir.
There's one quick question about the assignments. So can we start looking at the articles now on, or is it only after we are done with certain section of the course we can then start the assignment, or it is irrespective?
I recommend that you start.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, what is this hard copy?
Sir, good afternoon. This is Meghna here.
Yes, Meghna.
Actually, do we get the books to be purchased?
We don't give books. We have some. So, for example, I have Stephen Robbins, which is the classic on organization behavior, from which this course is being taught.
Okay.
I will share an e-copy. So wherever e-copies are available, we will share it with you.
Okay, sir. Yeah.
For the rest, please feel free to go and buy them.
Sure, sir. Yeah. Thank you.
So, this is Karthik here. Can you give me the name again? Stephen
Robbins.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah, it's the classic on organization behavior, organization theory. We will share. Please reach out to Professor Rajan. He will share you the copy. If you want a hard copy, you'll have to go and buy it. It costs about 500 rupees. Well worth buying a copy.
Sir, actually, initially we had been told that we'll be getting study material. What does it mean?
You will be getting study material, is it?
Yes.
So
we will get all the study materials from the university. That's what we have.
So please go to the LMS and have a look at those 3 articles that I've uploaded there for you. Yeah, they all come from Harvard Business School.
Okay.
What would you call it, my friend? What would you call that?
No, like I thought it includes some prescribed books or some
I think
materials.
maybe your perception was not right. Like
Yeah.
I said, where we have e-copies, we'll share them with you.
Mm.
If you want anything else, feel free to go and buy it.
Okay.
Professor, once this class is over, can I reach you on your email, as I'm not able to see the assignments that you uploaded? I'm not able to see that.
No, have you been able to log in?
Yes, I have been able to log in. I can see it says gradable assignment
Yeah.
1, organization theory, but the other 2 documents,
So-
the articles that you said
So
you
just
uploaded,
click.
I'm not.
So click on that. Click on that. You should be able to see them. Otherwise, you write to me. I will mail them to you. No problem. But they're very much there.
Okay, thank you so much,
If
sir.
you're able to see assignment 1, you should be able to see the 3 articles.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Yeah. And I recommend everybody please reach out to Professor Rajan and get a copy of the book, because it's a very interesting book and you can start reading it. And if you want more articles or readings from different top class universities, please feel free to write to me. I will send it to you. You want even further material, you can go and buy it. Professor Ramesh?
Yeah.
Yeah. And if you don't have an LMS credentials, which you got, please reach out immediately to Arvind to get your LMS credentials, and please log in quickly to see that everything is set properly. You can see 4 subjects. You should be able to see all the trimester 1 subjects, and you should be able to sort of access your assignments and so on, because time is ticking. And you have a month to do your first assignment in OT. I think Professor Ramesh will give his first assignment soon. So all this will start piling up soon. You will have the other assignments coming, accounting and HR. So please stay focused on the assignments. They're very, very, very important.
More questions, or are we done? Okay, fair enough. Done. Thank you, sir. I think that helps quite a bit. Both helps me and helps the organization and helps the students as well. So good. Now that
Thank you.
you have.
I'm
yeah,
leaving. I'm leaving. Thank you.
That's fine. Please do stay back. Yeah. Or we've had the pleasure of your company. Okay. So as I said, okay, I lost a bit of track of my own words of what I was saying. So good. So that's what I meant by let's stay focused on where we are. In my case, there are no prescribed books. So you go by some recommended outlines and study material. But I'll also give you some books to read. And obviously there are quite a umpteen number of books on marketing, and marketing is a growing subject. Things keep evolving. Things have evolved even over the last 4 months, 6 months. So stay current, read a lot of stuff which is related. We are not even in the first 15 minutes of our class. So there's plenty to talk about, lots of interaction, and let's get going. So a little about myself. As I did mention in my introduction yesterday during the orientation, I am an adjunct professor. What that means is that I have another day job that keeps me busy. I'm a founder of a slightly niche technology company, and I've been in business for well over 30, 35 years or so. And what brings me to marketing is the fact that I have worn very many different kinds of hats. Sometimes it's very important that you know who is actually sitting across on the other side of the screen and making the presentation. So that's the reason why I thought I should let you know from where what my backgrounds are. So I've worn all different kinds of hats. I've worn the hat of an engineer. I've worn the hat of a hardcore technical guy. I've right from UHF. I mean, I'm primarily all electronics. So right from UHF frequencies and up to KU or KA band, which is very high up the spectrum, and reasonably well traveled on work and on business. And over the last 5-6 years or so, I have been teaching the same subject, MBA. And that's thanks again to Professor and Captain Dean Nagaraj Rao, who asked me to come over and start teaching. And that's where I am. What do I expect to achieve after spending 18 hours with you all? I expect to, one, get you all more well-versed in the subject of marketing. Also understand the nuances of marketing. Start appreciating not from the consumer side, but from the other side of the whole supply chain. Start looking at it from why an organization pays a lot of importance to the act of marketing, and the fact that marketing is just not selling. Selling is different from marketing. That's probably the first lesson that we might all see. Where do I see you all 3 to 5, 7 years from now? Obviously, my intent is to make sure that all of you rise up your own, up the management cycle and chain, and hold positions of wherein you might be able to create a better world, a more profitable world for the companies that you work in. I, on the same slide, did have a section on asking you students, what are you and what made you come over here and choose to do that. But because this is an online course, I have moved it to a couple of slides later. That's where I will actually give you an assignment to talk about yourself. This said, let me open up the forum for a few minutes and let me hear from you all. What do you think that the industry wants from an MBA graduate? At the end of 18 months, what do you think that the industry is expecting from you?
Management skills, sir?
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead. If it's noisy, one of you stop talking. So as simple as that. Yeah. So
I believe that companies would look out for better managers,
okay,
better administrators, and better leaders.
Okay, excellent. Very good. Anyone wants to pitch in here?
The systematic management of the projects.
Okay, fair enough.
Problem solving efficiency.
Problem solving efficiency. That's Sudarshan. Okay. Yeah.
They expect skilled people in the field of management.
Okay, fair enough. Go
How
ahead.
to
Go ahead.
utilize?
Go ahead. I'll tell you what. Let's come out with some basic rules of interaction. This, in a typically brick and mortar class, I expect a lot of fun and activity to happen. So we are obviously curtailed by the fact that we are homebound and all that. So just there are no wrong answers. Let me make that very clear. There are no wrong answers. Every answer is an attempt, or probably every answer is an excellence of thought. So just go ahead and start talking and don't even bother. Yeah. So one or two more, and then let me move to the next slide.
Handle situations better.
Systematic approach.
Okay.
Okay. How to use skills effectively?
How to use what effectively?
Skills of other resources.
Okay. Very good. Very good. So let's take it from Jasveer and then move to the next slide.
Tools and technology.
Okay, good. That's very nice. This is what I pulled out from lots and lots of stuff that is available on skills expected out of MBA graduates when they are out of it. ability to influence others. I don't know if somebody said that, but if you said that, brilliant. Ability to work as a team, ability to work with a wider variety of people. You just had a class on OT. I was actually sitting through the last 20 odd minutes of it, and there was a lot of emphasis on use of the word ability to work with a wide variety of people, and ability to build and sustain and expand a network of people. Then you have strategic thinking. Somebody did come up with the word strategic thinking. That's great. Drive and resilience. I don't know what it means. What does drive and resilience mean? They look like very funny words. What is drive and resilience?
Drive means to drive the team, to take the control of team.
Okay,
And
okay, okay.
resilience meaning I don't know.
Okay, it looks like even I don't know. Anybody knows what is resilience?
Resilient means the ability to withstand the hardships. Whatever comes through you in your hardships, you must be able to overcome that. You must be able to cross it and be successful. Basically, you should be able to withstand what comes in your way.
Perfect, very nice. So it's just not drive. It's just not drive. Everybody can drive through a nice open highway. But then, what if you have roadblocks, and what do you have obstructions? But do you give up driving? Do you go ahead and say, no, I'm stuck to it. I'm going to go ahead and do this. So these are all there. Then, of course, there is big data analysis, and of course, needless to say that ability to solve complex problems. These are what are there. There's something here which is called time management and the ability to prioritize. This is something that we keep learning all our life, and the captain and dean just gave you few instructions on time management. Is that you must manage your time and submit all your 4 assignments by 24th or 25th of August. So you decide what are you going to prioritize and do that. I circled a section of it to let you know that man management is a very, very important parameter when it comes to skills that they expect out of MBA graduates. So the question is, how do you develop these? Oh, you know, I'm pretty good on computers. I'm pretty good at doing all kinds of drawing and designs, and give me a circuit, I'll break it down to its micro component. But when it comes to man management, I don't know how to run it. It's most likely that you're going to stay as an engineer in the bottom of the entire hierarchy of an organization if you don't know how to manage your team. So how does one develop these? That's what we hope you will achieve at the end of 18 or 22 months, so that you are there. You will be led by an excellent team of professors right through all the terms. And this is something that you should pitch and hope to achieve. I'm going to take 2 points out of this, which is called the big data analysis. Anybody would want to comment on what is big data analysis? I'm going to make sure that none of you are going to stay muted for long. Okay, that's going to be my point number 1. Is that so? Anybody who can tell me what is big data in a couple of sentences?
Hi, Professor Vikas here.
Yeah, I like that. Okay, for the first couple of classes, please do introduce yourself by name so that I'll eventually start getting to know you all better. Yeah, hi Vikas. Yeah.
Hi. So big data analysis is basically we trying to derive data, make sense of data that is easily available online. If I have to give that in an example, for example, a person who's logging on to Amazon has a website. Mm-hmm. Now, there are people clicking at every interval or at every stage. There are products being searched. What insights am I able to get out of this? Probably using demographs, I can still derive that a certain section of people within a certain location are trying to look for a particular product.
Very nicely said. Very nice, Vikas. That's very good. So big data analysis is a huge topic nowadays. There's a lot of conversation on big data. You could even, there are lots of software which help you do big data, help Amazon make sure that Vikas' website is exactly the way it excites him. And what is it? The homepage of Amazon is so very different from Vikas's because they know what my choices are. That's big data. I'm going to flip this thought on big data to go ahead and say that while big data is definitely important, as a manager, you also need to know what is small data analysis. Okay. And I'm going to start off with a very classical story, a very, very classical story that tells you as to why small data analytics is so very important. Okay. The story is a very simple story. We all know these two companies. We know Nokia. Unfortunately, we know Nokia now. You are as good as your last performance. So today, Nokia is not that well known. We'll also get to analyze Nokia in the next couple of minutes as to why they are. But Nokia was, when this story started in the early, is there a date for this? I don't know. Yeah, it's an early 2000 story, when Nokia was doing pretty well and was competing with Ericsson, or Ericsson was trying to compete with Nokia to get into a very lucrative mobile market, mobile phones market. Both of them were sourcing their chips from chips from Philips, who was one of the largest manufacturer for these microchips which go into any of these basic phones. And things were going pretty well for both of them. Ericsson then decided that we need to push, we need to change gears, and we need to do something which is going to give us dominance in the market, which is really going to shake up the industry and maybe throw Nokia out. What they decided was to come up with a product that we now know very well, but at that time, a product very unique. The product was that they said that it's very cumbersome for anybody to every time reach into his pocket and pick up the phone and start answering. And unfortunately, he can either walk or answer. So why not we come up with a device which will connect to the phone in some way and sit in the ears. And there is a wireless connect between the device and the things that sit on his ear. And let's come out with it. We all know what the product is. It's the Bluetooth earphone. But at that time, it was a new concept. And of course, Bluetooth was also known as Bluetooth because Bluetooth was a king who actually united all the Nordic countries. So that's another story. So Ericsson was all getting ready to introduce its new product, which was the Bluetooth enabled mobile phone. And things were going pretty well. They were hoping to change the industry. Nokia got a sense of it, but couldn't do much about it. One fine day, there was something that happened in the Philips plant. There was a small fire. There was a small fire in one of the Philips plant in Netherlands. And as a result, there was some damage. There was some damage to while they were baking out the chips, there was some issues with that. So as always, the guy from Philips called up both Ericsson and Nokia and told the guys in terms of procurement, or the guy in terms of install, I mean, in terms of manufacturing, the person almost in the bottom of the hierarchy, and told him that, listen, we had a small fire, but I think we quickly doused it. There are no issues with it, but we are now good. I don't think there's any issue, but since we are your primary supplier and you are a big customer, we thought we'll tell you. So both Ericsson and Nokia heard the story. So both the guys went and told their manager. So the Ericsson guy told his manager, listen, I got a call from Philips, and they said, nothing to worry, things will be back in a couple of days, but I thought I should inform you. So the manager said, fair enough. Did he say that things will be back in a couple of days? Oh, yes, sir, he did promise me, and his words looked very assuring. Fair enough. Okay, go back to work. Now, the same thing happened with Nokia. Nokia, the guy got a call, he went to his manager, and the manager said, oh, okay, but anyway, we never know what's happening. So why don't you call up the other plants of Philips and find out if they by chance have the same product number also being manufactured in their other outlets in the rest of the world. And in case they do have it, why don't you just ask them to block, just in case, just in case, let's play it safe. So the Nokia guy called the various other Philips offices in the world and told them, do you guys have this part number XYZ1574, something like that? Oh, yes, we do it. Why don't you block whatever you have for us? Because I think there might be some issues, but we'll play it safe anyway. But as the story goes, while the fire got doused very quickly, in the process of dousing the fire, there was substantial damage to the plant. And what turned out to be a couple of days actually turned out to be quite a bad news. So this Ericsson guy and the Nokia guys, both of them receive a call a few days later, and very apologetically, the Philip guy says that, listen, yes, we have some not so very good news. We have, I think the things have gone pretty bad. We might expect a few weeks or a month or even longer delay. But I'm just telling you, so be aware of it. Now this Ericsson guy goes back to his manager. The manager says, oh shit, we are supposed to be launching that high-end, high-profile Nokia killing product, and don't tell me all this. This is not the way to report. And go ahead, pick up the call and pick up the phone and call every other Philips unit. But then what does the guy at Ericsson hear when he picks up the phone and calls every other Philips unit? Sorry, sir, we can't tell you, but yes, we did have this part number, but it's been blocked by another user. So long story short, within a few months, Ericsson could not launch its product. Nokia went ahead with it, had enough and more of stock for it to go ahead and come out with its own Bluetooth version. Continuing the story, Ericsson had to declare bankruptcy, sell itself to Sony Ericsson, and that's what happened. So as a manager, while you might be paying a lot of attention to big data, small data analytics do matter. So this is one story that I thought I should tell you. And this is, as always, at Dayanand Sagar University, we pick up most of these case studies from Harvard Business School, and this is one more of them. Let me then move to the next story that I have for you. This is, how many of you know what is David versus Goliath? Is somebody who's not aware of it, I can tell you. If some of you know it, good enough. Does anybody know what is David versus Goliath mean?
This is Vijay here.
Yeah. So
this is an kind of a historical story. In I don't know exact country. Maybe it is in Greece.
Israel.
Yeah, Israel. So Goliath was a mighty warrior, and David was I think a shepherd who used to take care of sheep. So just using a small stone, he brought down the mighty warrior. So it's whenever there is a small player overtaking or competing against a big player and defeating them, right? For example, if for people who understand cricket, when India won against West Indies in 1983, that was kind of called as a David versus Goliath.
Very nice, Vijay. Not only did you explain that, but you also did give an explanation on the West Indies versus India. But then every David also becomes a Goliath, that we also had India lose to Bangladesh, but that's another story for another day. Okay, so what is strategic thinking also means that, can everybody mute up just in case? Yeah. What is strategic thinking also means that as a startup, and I'm sure there are lots and lots of startups happening all over, and Bangalore is a domain where every day there are new startups coming up and probably falling along the way. As a startup, you are working on a very thin budget. But then if you are trying to compete with a very large organization, how do you go ahead and tackle them? So one of that is this is an announcement. I don't know if you guys can see it very well. If you can, very good. So there is this company, and Ryan Reynolds is also an actor. So what happens is the biggest event in India is the IPL, and the equivalent of the IPL in the US is the Super Bowl. The Super Bowl is the day when the biggest of the advertisers fight for a 30-second slot. And it typically costs $5 million to advertise for a 30-second slot he made an announcement without even mentioning that it's the Super Bowl, because he's saying that if I do mention the word Super Bowl, the lawyers may come even right after me. I'm such a small company. I don't have the $5 million. But then how do I go ahead and make my marketing pitch as effective or as penetrative as a $5 million investment? So he says that we at Mint Mobile have decided that we don't have the $5 million, but here is what I'm offering you. If you connect to my app, or if you download my app, or if you just go to my website and then register yourself, I'm willing to give you a premium service for free, a $15 premium service for free, or whatever that means. So we all know that while the ads in IPL are the most sought after ads, we do know that that's the time when most of us take a bio break. So even the best of the ads may get lost. So here is somebody doing a very strategic thinking and saying that while I don't have a $5 million to spare, I do have 100,000 spectators in the stadium, or I have a 5 million viewers. And how do I connect to them and start effectively working on it? So this is what I thought that I should share with you. The fact that you have to look at big data is needless to say, but then the ability to look at that small messages is equally important. And strategic thinking is to think within your budget, to fight just because you have a bigger war or a bigger enemy doesn't necessarily mean that he's going to win the war. So these are two examples that I thought I should bring it up with you guys. And diving deeper, the philosophy at Dayanand Sagar University has always been that we will get the best of the case studies to talk about. And most of our case studies come out from Harvard Business School, one of the finest examples of research into all subjects, and of course in my subject, marketing. So what is a case study? A case study typically is a work through an event in a company. Something happened, something went wrong, some thought process did. I know we all can do hundreds of case studies on, I must be careful of what I'm using because some of them get represented in the further slides, but that doesn't really matter. We have what went wrong with Nokia, what went wrong with Nano, what went wrong with somebody else. Why did Jio survive despite being the 8th telecom player in the market? So case studies is all reviewing a particular event, analyzing what situation that they did it, looking at the outcome. Some outcomes may be positive, some outcome may be negative. And then you start learning from those mistakes or learning from those successes and incorporate into your own business. So case studies are going to be something very important. You will also have case studies in your assignment, wherein you will have to read through it, understand what it is, and analyze why that company behaved in certain manner, and how would you have behaved today, or how do you think they should have behaved? So this is what we're going to do. I'm going to discuss one particular case study, a very, very brief introduction, because I don't want to go into depth in the first hour of our conversation. So how many of you are aware of House of Cards? You know what is House of Cards?
Yes, sir. It's a series on Netflix.
Yeah, it's a series on Netflix. I think I should also keep opening my chat window so that I can also have this going. It's a series on Netflix, obviously. And my next question was, how many of you know Netflix? But that's a meaningless statement to ask. Correct? So how many of you, so Netflix made its killing out of House of Cards. And House of Cards and Netflix are one of the most deeply studied case studies in the marketing world. Why? Is because before Netflix, who was their competitors? Before Netflix, the competitors were the linear television channels, the HBOs of the world, the Sony TVs of the world, or whatever, the Star TVs or the Star movies of the world. They were doing linear television. And Netflix tried to enter a totally different market. While that is the story of Netflix, Netflix also decided to do something totally different, even from its approach to its serials and its episodes. They decided that if you look at the world today, if you look at the world pre-Netflix, you would get one episode a day. And you had to wait through all 24 hours. They're wondering what tomorrow's episode is going to be. But the world has moved so differently over the last 4 or 5 years that one is nobody has the patience. Over the next 24 hours, I might get so busy that I might even stop watching those serials. It happens all the time. I sit with my mom and I watch one of the Kannada serials. I tell you what, I sit back and sit with her. 6 months later, the scene hasn't moved a minute. But then you can lose interest. So Netflix started understanding that the viewer had changed. The viewer had, sometimes it's even one episode a week. The viewer had changed. The viewer's requirements had changed. We all know the word binge watching, right? So binge watching is sit through it, watch all episodes. There was a new episode in Amazon right through the first lockdown, and I think that was called the Panchayat or something like that. And I just watched them. Patal Lok, obviously, there are quite a few that you will bring up, Rahul. Okay, so so that was binge watching. So Netflix did the greatest gamble of its life by going ahead and signing with this company called Media Rights Capital, which they said, one is that we are going to, how were the producers of episodes getting their orders? They would make one, what was called the intro episode or an approval episode. They would go and show it to various TV companies. And if they approved them, then they would allow them to run 13 pilot episode, obviously. And then they would allow them to run for 13 episodes. Maybe if they are lucky, they'll get another round of going on further. But this was the first time that Netflix said that we will fund you through season 1, season 2. That was what they said. And they said that we will release all of them, all season 1 episodes in one shot. This was a gamble that they started doing. And obviously, you know that they made a killing out of it. And now it's become a norm for every other player in the online media world to go ahead and dump all series on it. So why am I saying this is sometimes you have to think differently if you have to address the market, which is already saturated. There are over 100 and there are about 500 television channels, but how do you go ahead and start addressing them? So this is one thing that I thought I should share with you. And there are more of such stories. Strategic thinking and solving complex problems is one thing that I want you all to get it right. How many of you have gone to a Starbucks coffee shop? Obviously, everybody raises his hand. Now tell me one thing. If you were to, how many of you have gone to a cafe coffee day outlet, a CCD as it's called? Obviously, everybody is going to raise his hand. Now I'm going to ask you a next question, which is, you have a very important business meeting and you choose to take your important client for a coffee. What are you going to choose? Are you going to choose Starbucks or are you going to choose Cafe Coffee Day? Yes, in all likelihood, the reason is Starbucks. Why is that? Why is that? It's because Starbucks has built itself a branding which is probably positioning itself as an high end. It doesn't see, yeah, it's a globally recognized brand. Very good. It's a globally recognized brand. And it offers you an experience which nobody else, none of the other coffee players give you, ambience and everything else. Now, the guy who started Starbucks was Howard Schultz, and when he started Starbucks, had a great intention, and sometimes along his path, he got thrown out of his own company. Do you guys know any other top business icon who started his company and got thrown out
Apple.
and came back later on?
Steve Jobs.
Steve Jobs. Absolutely. iPhone. Yeah, Steve Jobs came back. Same story. He did it. You must read his book. He did his company started doing well, and one fine day they just threw him out. Only to realize that was the biggest mistake that the board had done, and they called him back. When they called him back, he realized that the wow factor was missing. Starbucks wasn't really the Starbucks that he had built. People were not able to differentiate the brand with other brands. And then he had to make a decision. And he took a decision which shook virtually everyone in the industry. He said, I'm going to close down all my 7,100 stores in the US, or probably all over the world. He said, I'm going to close down every store of mine and make sure that we are back with our earlier defined wow factor. We are back, more connected to our customers, and that has, from 2008, showed up right into 2020 and beyond. So sometimes you need to bite the bullet to be able to take a decision, and you must have the guts within you to go ahead and make such a decision. So this is one more thing that I want to step apart and tell you, because we go back to this point, is that this is what is expected out of you. This is what is expected out of you. Each and every one of it. I want you guys to remember that your 22 months in this endeavor of further learning Avatar 2.0 for all of you graduates, and Avatar 3.0 if you've done your postgrad, is going to be best used if you start focusing on these subjects. Because this is exactly what we want you all to develop. Yes, you will develop finer skills of marketing. Yes, you will develop the art of reading a balance sheet from your accounting practices, and you know how to manage an organization. But all of them have these skill sets developed in. Any questions so far? Are we doing good? Here's the time for you to let me know if my speed is too much, or are you guys not able to follow me, or is everything looking good?
Everything is fine, sir.
Everything looking good.
Everything is fine, sir. Yeah. Thank you so much.
So at this time, I'm going to, we'll continue for some more time, and then I'll give you an assignment and we break through. Okay. There are three pillars of a man's character. I mean, man doesn't mean as in the gender, but it's man as in mankind. Okay, so let me get this right. So these three pillars, do you have it in you? Do you have the credibility in you? The ethos, pathos, and logos of an individual has to be there. In each of these examples that we talked about, we look at how ethos works. How credible are you as an individual, and how credible what is the credibility of your organization? Are you emotionally attached to your company? Are you emotionally attached to your people? Do you really care for them? Or do you think they are all employees and I wouldn't mind just sacking them overnight? And how much of your business is driven equally by your brain and not necessarily by your heart? So these are three characters that we are looking for you to start building up. And so spend some time talking about it. But the question is, too late in my life, how can I change? Is it possible for me to change? Here is what I tell you, is that Homo sapiens are the only animals who are different from every other thing. We are the least wired animal. What does that mean? We are the least wired animal. If you look at an elephant, the moment a baby elephant is born, it can get up and start walking. Moment a baby penguin is born, it can start swimming. Take every other example, but mankind is different. We have to be taught everything. We are the least hardwired product that comes out of our mother's womb. We are only taught to do 3 or 4 basic things: to cry, to suck for milk, or do some very basic activities. Every other skill is to be acquired, which means to say that you take a penguin and put it in the Thar desert, it will die. You take a camel and put it in the Arctic, it will die. But you take a man, put him in both the places, he will survive. Why am I saying this? Is that you're never too old to learn. Your brain is completely programmable. It is possible for you to learn, unlearn, and upgrade. So with this introduction, I want to tell you that you are doing the right thing by doing your class here. And let's now get down to, let me get down to an activity that I want you all to do. Is that this is completely online classes. So I would have, in a regular session, I would have wanted you to stand up and introduce each one of yourselves. Here is a link to a tiny URL link to an Excel sheet. I want you to go to that Excel sheet and enter your name, your roll number, and briefly describe yourself in less than 140 characters. That's the most important thing. In less than 140 characters, you should be able to explain or introduce yourself or give me your bio. There are 3 bios that I'm throwing in front of you. One is my own, which is an entrepreneur, hands-on engineer, professor, Bangalorean, a father of a lawyer, and I believe that much can be said in few words. I also believe effort, pace, and meditation helps. Professor Tejas Rao, he also introduced himself yesterday. He calls himself a strategist at Beulah and an SGA Bocconi alumnus. He works on strategy development and emerging business models. He's a runner and a motorcycle enthusiast. I know him. Professor V.V. Rajan, his name has been mentioned very many times. He calls himself, here's what he says, 25 years of experience across the market, and all of this under 140 characters. So the time now on my clock is 2:37. Are you very clear? Because I'm going to sit down and talk to you for a minute or two. Make sure that you can type in. I made this whole thing easier for you. I want you to access this Excel sheet, enter your roll number, enter your name, take a moment out. It's not going to be easy. It's not going to be easy to describe yourself in just 140 characters. I give you 2 pages. Can you paste the URL on the chat? I can type the URL on the chat. I don't think it's a quite an easy URL, right? Okay, but I'll still try. Yeah, there you go. Doesn't matter. You don't know anything, you know your name. Okay, don't bother. We'll fill that up later on. But Lohita, were you able to access it? Yes. So go ahead. I've given you 3 examples out there. I'm going to give you. Let me make it. You will be evaluated, which means to say, this is part of your assignment number 1. This is already part of your assignment number 1. I want you to come out with the best 140 character definition of yourself. Don't bother about your roll number, leave that name. There, I doubt there are 2 Sunam Pandey. So go ahead, we'll correct your roll numbers later on. But for now, take a moment out, don't rush through it. Think about it. I've given you 3 varieties of examples. Somebody is talking about his family, somebody is talking about his failed entrepreneurship, somebody is talking about his passion for running and motorcycle. You should be able to. You must open up, and then I think you have to open up with Google Sheets, I think. It says open, if you go to the URL and it gives you doc, it says open up on Google Sheets, then you will be able to edit it. Mary, can you confirm that? I did run through this check, so it does work. Again, when you open it, it'll say open up using Google Sheets, or right on the top. When you click that, it'll open another page, and then you will be able to edit it. Yeah, Bhanu, are you confirming it works?
It works, sir. Hello, sir. This is Zami.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. We will just continue with the following names, or we will remove all those names and just type
those
our own
names
name.
are your examples. You
we can remove those names.
You let them be there so that you know how it looks like.
Okay, just to continue from the last, right?
Yes. Now,
okay, thank you.
Now, are you confirming that you are able to edit it and do it?
Yeah, I can. I'm able to edit it. Yeah.
Okay, so if she can do it, everybody can, right? What do you say?
Yes, sir. It's working fine.
Perfect. Yeah, perfect. So
it works.
No, there cannot be one no and one yes.
Hi, sir. This is Lasya. I think there's a lot of overwriting happening here. So I tried editing like 3 times, and next time when I see it's overwritten. Yeah.
So what you should do is first get your data right. Spend some time not on the Google Sheet. Spend some time typing it somewhere. That's why I insisted that you must have your laptops ready. Write it out, or even write it on a piece of paper, and then you should be able to access it. Don't worry, you're not running a race. I'm going to give you guys 20 minutes. So that's a good enough break that you're going to have halfway through. So take your time, get it right, and then upload it.
Yeah, thank you, sir.
Okay, I'm telling you, I also want to tell you that these are challenging times for me too. I mean, otherwise, how do we get to be a little more interactive? So I'm trying to be a little innovative in this. Let's see how it works. And if you're able to do it, because the purpose of this is, I know I'm going to keep you guys talking, but I will talk for a minute or two. The purpose is to know how much are you knowledgeable today, so that I can mold my teaching going on further. If I get some fabulous resumes in 140 characters, then I know that all of you are PhDs. But if I get an attempt towards it, then I know that I can mold you all. So don't rush through. I'm sure it'll all work well. And it worked previously. So first write down and edit it. I'm sure you can't go there and do it. And finally try pasting it. So I'm going to clock it now, 2:45 on my watch. I'm going to call you guys back at 3:05. Okay? No, I don't think you need to. I don't think you need to download anything if you're using a laptop. So I'm going to take a break now, and yeah, find a way out. Prabhakar, if you're using a mobile, I don't know. That's why I said you must get a little more prepared. Type it in Word and paste it in Google Sheet. Yeah, so you have all kinds of answer. Innovate yourself. We'll see what problems you guys encounter at 3:05, and then we'll take another call. So I'm going to pause this for a moment. Okay, guys, see you exactly at 3:05. Well, let this keep running. It doesn't matter. Yeah.
Okay.
Hello. Hello. Anyone there?
Yeah.
Yeah. The Google Sheet is getting updated and
Yeah,
the
I'm facing the same. The name comes up the first time, the second time it updates. It's not.
There were multiple people who tried
Correct.
to
So,
access at the time.
so
That's why.
I'd say not an issue, guys. Just work everything on your notepad, and then later on, before submission time, let's plug it in. I think by the time it'll collate and things like that.
Exactly. That's what I was.
It's because of all of us like trying to edit something and it's overloading.
Yeah, there's a lot of traffic, so Google Sheet kind of tends to lag around here.
Okay, I think that's also an interesting thought. Go ahead and make a try, and we'll find another way of doing it. But for now, make an attempt. As you can see, I really want you to do this because I'm going to get you from today's class, question 1, class assignment 1, 2, 3 also there. But let's see how many of you are able to do it. Any which way, we will reconnect at 3:05, do a SOP analysis, and then see if there's a better way of getting it done. Okay. So as somebody said, paste it, try, innovate. Let's see how innovative you are.
Sir, Sandeep here. We can use Google Form instead of Google Sheets because that everything will be captured in a single time. We don't need to open a sheet and edit and all.
Okay, maybe I'll pull it, convert it to a Google form in my next class. That might be a good way of doing it. But for now, I'll take care of shifting from the Excel sheet to this. But whoever is able to do it, go ahead and take a shot at it. Okay, all said and done, we'll continue to meet at exactly
Hello, sir.
3:05.
Hello, sir. Pratham is here.
Yeah.
I am using through mobile, so I am not able to do. Hello.
Yeah, Pratham, you must see how you can get over it because that's the way that you can handle it.
Okay, fine.
Okay, but we'll see it. This is class 1 assignment, sub assignment 1. I'll be very benevolent on this, and we'll see how it goes. If not, take a break. We'll join up in something like 10 minutes or 15 minutes. Okay.
Yeah, sure, sir.
Okay.
Hello. Is anyone facing this issue where the sheets are loading and whatever is written is gone?
Yep.
It will, because of that, Google Sheet submissions. Because it is in Excel format, whenever you are going to edit, it will convert into Google Sheet and hence your data will be lapsed.
No, I think from mobile also we can do. I just downloaded and then just saved, uploaded it again. I think
That's
my
the reason it
data.
got replaced. No. You don't have to upload it.
You don't have to upload
Because
it.
You don't have to
everything
upload
will get
anything. You have to edit whatever the words you have. You can copy it in from that word. Actually.
No,
It
facing the
has
issue, it's getting refreshed every time, and
no.
I've
It has
pasted
a
like
sync issue. Sync issue. It has. You can go ahead and paste it. Whatever. It will get
yeah.
synced up later on.
This is the 5th time I have pasted. So
No. That's okay. One time if you paste it, that would be.
Thing is, sir, while editing, it's getting reloaded again. It is taking back to same where we started. That is the issue we are facing there. Hello.
Can we paste that on Excel? Because I am getting the Excel option.
It doesn't seems to be working. I think
It's now I'm unable to edit also. I'm unable to.
I have pasted and again it got erased. So maybe it's override. Somebody has overridden it. So I think we'll wait for the professor to take another call on it.
It's better we save it in somewhere in Notepad later on.
Yeah.
When he's here, we can paste it. Okay.
Can we paste that on Excel? Because I'm getting the Excel option.
Not sure how exactly.
You can try. You can try once.
Actually.
Yeah.
No, if you update in Excel, if you're uploading again, the whatever that has been updated, that might go off.
No need to upload actually. So you just need to edit it if you have an edit option. I don't think so. There's a
because since I'm operating for mobile, so when I'm clicking to that link, I'm getting that it's automatically directing me to the Excel only.
It will show as a Excel because that extension is XLS.
no, it has again refreshed, and now data is lost.
Yeah, that is what. So
same.
it's
Same
like
here.
getting override. So let's wait for let's take some other alternative. I think this is not the right way.
Guys, can
best way.
Every 4th or 5th time, whenever it's refreshed, my name is appearing up. So I'm not sure obviously updated. So
okay, everybody, time out. I've been listening to all conversations. Time out. Listen. One is you have 24 hours to fill this up. Okay. 24 hours to fill this up. I'm going to make another change. Is that I'm going to pull out from the. I'm going to pull out your names, paste them out. So you are not randomly filling up any row, but you actually filling up your row. Okay.
Okay,
so I'll
sir.
take care of that. And that's the way that we will go forward. I'm sure we'll find better things to do it as we go.
I think that will be better options.
Yeah. We'll do it. The idea is that unless and until I know who you are, how many years of whatever you're doing and how creative are you, that it is always good to have a more interactive session. So this said, I said 3:05 as a break point. So I believe that some of you may have actually stepped out, but at 119, I believe everybody is there, right?
Yeah.
So are we ready to go further?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. We can go ahead.
Okay, so instruction number 1, all of you mute yourself and let me see how I'm looking now. Great, good. So where was I? So what did we do in the last 35 or an hour and so, right? Almost 1:30 and 1.5 hours that we've been together. We did, of course, have a few questions. So I tried to let you guys. So we've not even got into the word marketing. We've just been hovering around the word MBA and management. So guys, one more last time, forget all those things. You will have to fill out that 140 characters, and you will have to fill it by midnight of Monday. So that gives you enough time to do it. And that's part of your assignment one. So you will have to get away to make sure that you do a good job on it. This said, I'm here to teach you marketing. So now let's get into definition of what the word marketing is. How many of you, just name a few of yourself, just stand up and say, or whatever stand up would mean in the online world, have no marketing in your work. And how many of you are doing marketing? So Krishnaraj, absolutely no marketing in your work. Yeah, and as I said, just go ahead and say me too and me too, or yes, no marketing and all that. It's because there are no wrong answers.
Okay. Sir, I want to say something. Can I?
Go ahead. Yeah, always.
So Prasanna here. So maybe I don't have anything to like marketing related. I don't do anything, but the work which I do, I have to market that in front of my leadership and in front of my stakeholders. So that is also counted as marketing only, right?
Well, both you, Prasanna, myself, and Madhu, and Pratham, and Vedanta, Ruben, who are all saying no marketing. Let's see, where do we stand at the end of 18 hours? Are we really saying there's no marketing in our lives, or are we saying maybe we need to redefine what we think is marketing? Fair enough. So good, lots of inputs. We stop there. We'll find a better way of doing it later on that point. But marketing 101. So what is marketing 101 mean? Okay, I had a slide which was there. Management definition. Sorry, it was not marketing 101. We're still on management definition. So how do you define what management means and what the role of an individual is? I'm going to look at this. These are the new set of words that I want to bring into your dictionary. We had strategic thinking, all these things that is expected out of a MBA student. But here are another set of words that I'm going to bring in. And these words would seamlessly integrate into our subject. So these words are vision, strategy, plan, goals, activity, business plan, problem solving, new ideas, and all this. So let's spend a few minutes at looking at what a typical organization looks like. A typical organization has all kinds of people. A typical organization has a fresher who just joined them. A typical organization obviously has a CEO. A typical organization has a business head, has a team leader, has a design engineer somewhere, has a manufacturing head, has a manufacturing assistant, and all of them combine to form an entity that's called the company. That's called the organization. But let's try putting our head and seeing what does this guy want. I have an excellent photo, a very tempting photo for all of us, which we haven't had the experience over the last 4 months, is that we go into a boardroom or a meeting and we have this guy serving us some nice coffee and biscuits. We wish that happens soon. Now, let's look at this coffee boy. Look at this boy who's going to serve us coffee. Let's look at what his problems in life are. What do you think are his problems in life? One of them. What do you think is his problem? What is running through this guy's head when he comes up to work?
Monotony of his job.
The monotony of his job? Yeah, but give him a smile. Yeah, I mean, all of us have monotony. Yeah, so what is running through his mind? Let me give you a... No. Hang on. This is... we're not getting to his personal life. We're saying he's worried about how many cups of coffee should I make today?
Making sure he doesn't spill anything?
Shouldn't spoil any coffee.
Pardon?
Shouldn't make a bad
Yeah,
coffee or get a.
shouldn't spill the coffee on something, or as Amy Grace is capable of, she can immediately call for a meeting of 30 people and I'm not prepared. I don't have enough sugar. Maybe I didn't order enough. Like, how many liters of milk should I pick up on a Monday morning? And I don't know what meetings are there. But then at the end of the day, at 6 o'clock, when the job is over, his worries are gone. He no longer is worried about what's happening. So a coffee boy or the person who is taking care of the pantry, his worry is only, or his mission or his business plan or whatever you want to call it, is just confined to a day. He's just not worried beyond it. But now let's move slightly beyond it to a team lead. What is the team lead going to be worried about? Oh my God, I don't know how am I going to, unexpected burden of all of a sudden, how am I going to meet this week's target? I'm not sure if Santosh is going to turn up for work or not. I mean, I see few names, so those are the names that are going to keep popping up. Or will Amarnath just skip office today? So that is what he's worried about. He's just worried whether I will be able to get this week's job done. His worry is, how do I achieve this work's performance metrics, productivity for the week? He is least bothered whether coffee is available on the table or not. He is least bothered whether somebody came to work today or not. He's only bothered, how will my week performance be working? Now let's move ahead from a team lead to a group head. What's the group head thinking? Obviously, he's not thinking about how many people is Amy Grace going to have in the conference room. He's not even going to worry saying that, oh my God, whether Vijay will turn up for work today or not. He's least bothered about that. He's just saying that, how will I take care of my this month deliverables? He's least bothered what is the problem of the team lead. His problems are different. Will my team lead deliver me the result? He may not even know who is Vijay. He may not even know who is Krishna Raj. But that is what the group head's responsibilities are. Similarly, if you look at the business head, he's least bothered what happens today, what happens this week. He's least bothered what happens this month. He has to get his quarterly target. What does this quarterly target mean? The new target started from when? April, May, June. The new target started from now. July, August, September. What will I be able to show September 30th? Will I be saying that? So he is worried about that. Now, as senior management, he is not worried about any one of these things. He is saying, how will I get my annual target set? What do you think I promised my boss, who is what my annual target is? How will I get it going? In this COVID-like situation, on this pandemic, how will I grow? He's not bothered what this quarter is. He's hoping that the next 2 quarters are going to make up for the disaster of these 2 quarters. Whereas the team lead is only worried about this week. So as you can see, as you move up the management chain, your worries get expanded. Your definition of timelines get expanded. The CEO is least worried about how this year will perform, because that's the headache of the probably the CTO or whoever it is. But he is worried as to, where should I drive my company in the next 5 years? Yes, we might do well this year, but where do I take my company in the next 5 years? What should I do to ensure that 5 years from now, a lot of things have changed. 5 years back, from 2020 to 2015, the world was very different. Bharti Airtel was sitting with arrogance, saying that nobody can do a damn to my world. But 5 years from now, Bharti Airtel is just struggling to survive. So why am I bringing up this slide is because I'm again telling you is that you've taken up a course that is called management, a course that is called building leaders. I don't know where are you in this chain. Are you the coffee shop, or are you the guy who's serving coffee? Are you the team lead? Are you the group head? You must now start thinking a little differently and start moving up the management chain. So one last comment, and I will go out of this point of discussion, is that the manager, what skill sets are you looking at a team lead? What skill sets are you looking at a programming assist that you have in your company? What skill sets are you looking at a team lead? He may have a little bit of man management skills, but a group head, a business head has to look at very many things. How is the market going? Where is the things heading and all that stuff. So take some moment out and try to understand why this session is very important for you. I had this thing previously planned up, but we'll move this not. We are not going to do this now. Finally, we get into what is called the marketing management now. So it's obviously 90 days of very interactive sessions, 3 months. There's going to be 18 hours of class sessions that I'm going to do for you. I will plan a lot of offline activities. I hope to keep that number as 9, wherein I will give you an offline activity to do, read an article, read a book, read an Harvard Business Review and comment on it. Some of the activities do call for evaluation. Some of them don't call for evaluation. And there'll be 2 assignments that you will have to do. Start a WhatsApp group. That somebody has already done it very, very well. So finally, I think I'm going to skip this slide and then go to the next one. So far, are you all doing well? Are you following with me? And do you have any questions?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. We are following.
Okay, so that S was for my last point. Do you have any questions? So what is the question? Okay, no problem. Okay, good. Let's get going. So there are all kinds of guys who make up this world. Okay. Now, one of them is somebody who thinks is brilliant, and somebody who believes, for somebody like Steve Jobs, he believed that the customer does not know what he wants. He believed that the customer has no idea that what a better computer would look like. The customer has no idea what a better mobile would look like. If I went and asked the customer what he wants, he's going to give me all rubbish. But I know what I want. But unfortunately, there is only one Steve Jobs which comes for every generation. So none of us are Steve Jobs. So we'll have to look at other methods of understanding what the customer wants. So our job as marketers is to understand what the customer wants to buy and what is the best way to look good. And one of the best articles or quotation that I can see is a good marketing company. Good marketing makes a company look smart. Great marketing makes the consumer feel smart. How many times have you girls, and among you boys as well, have walked out of buying a nice dress or buying a nice thing, and you felt that you got a price better? Many times, right? Many times you feel that, arey yaar, I think I somehow was able to convince that seller to give me an excellent price. So you go out smiling because you never thought that dress which cost $1,000 and you asked for $350 and the guy gave it to you. You feel so excited. But many a time you feel, oh, I got cheated. So this is what makes you. So when you felt that you got excited at $350, you are definitely going back to that shop and buying one more time. So it happens all the time. So this said, let's look at some challenges that we face in our daily life. is that one of them is the product is the same, the customer connect is changing. Look at this world. For ages and ages, we've been eating. Initially, we used to go or walk into a restaurant to eat. Then there was restaurants started opening up franchisees, like in the case of McDonald's or KFC. But the food is still the same. The food is still the same. Then after that, you had Zomato, which came up and said, we'll review the restaurant for you before you go and start eating in that restaurant. Make sure that you get a good hang of it. Then somebody said, oh, why would you want to review and go? I'll bring the food for you. So then you had Uber Eats come up, you had Swiggy come up, but the product is still the same. We are still handling the food. Now they said, why do you want to even have a physical kitchen? We'll give you a cloud kitchen. You sit in this cloud kitchen and then address the whole Bangalore or whichever market it is. So the product is the same, but the customer connect has constantly been changing. The second example is travel. Every time we were buying, whenever we had to go, we had to visit the travel agent or we had to visit the airline. Fresh Menu is a cloud kitchen. Very good. We used to visit the airline and buy myself a ticket. That was an exercise for me. And then an agent came back and said, don't bother, give me a call. We'll pick up the app. We'll buy the ticket for you. The travel is still the same. The exercise is still the same. It's just that the customer connect keeps changing. Finally, they said, oh, you just don't have to do anything. You don't even have to show your ticket. Just show me your boarding pass and things work. Similarly, we have all kinds of examples here. You have cabs. Cabs have been cabs. We would go run behind cabs and flag them down. And then if you are a Delhiite, and you had to take a 6 a.m. flight, you would call that corner taxi stand, and then you would tell them, Bhaiya, 4 baje pick up. So that was blocking a cab. Then you go to cabs on demand. You're not able to hear me well? Voice is breaking, and I know, just hang on 1 minute.
We can hear you, sir.
Okay, just hang on 1 minute. Okay, I'm back. I was just wondering if there is a Netflix running in my house, but is it clear now?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay,
It's
good.
loud and clear. Sir.
Loud and clear. So here it is, same product, the customer connect is different. Now let's look at the other one. The same product. Someone is breathing loud. I can't do much about his breathing. Okay, the same product, but the promotion is different. Look at this slide, and I want you to start paying attention. Don't bother about somebody's breathing. Okay, what does Starbucks tell you? Is that come, pay for the coffee, and you can sit here whole day. No problem. We'll give you internet, we'll give you everything. Sit down there and have your thing. The same product, but the promotion is different. What does WeWorks tell you? If most of you know what is WeWork. WeWorks tells you, you pay for the desk and the coffee is free. It's the same thing. It's just the same thing. It's just playing around with it. It's just playing around with it. And the best example is, how did Jio get over the entire competition? Till Jio came into existence, everybody was telling them, pay for voice, data is free. If you take a package, we'll give you 10 GB or 20 GB of data free. Now Jio walks in and then tells you, pay for data, voice is free. So it's all the same product, but it's all about how are you promoting yourself differently. Still not convinced? I'll give you one more example. This is another example. How many of you have seen this example, especially during this time? What is the example? Is that if you buy Boost during the summer holiday season, we'll give you a badminton racket. It's one badminton racket, but not two badminton rackets. And I don't know how many of you have actually tasted a Kinder Joy, but I'm sure that none of your children actually taste a Kinder Joy. They just buy it only for the freebies that come along with it. Right? So it's the same product, it's still the chocolate, but the promotion is different. So look at 3 points, and I'm driving you into hardcore understanding of marketing by these examples. Let me once again tell you from where we started off. We started off saying that the product is same, how you connect to the customer is different. The product is the same, how you promote yourself is very different. Here, the product is the same, but the promotion is the driver. People are not buying Boost because it's good. People are buying Boost because they give you a racket. Sometime back, an airline said, buy a ticket and your wives will fly free. There was a huge rush. Only thing that the wives didn't know that they were flying. Somebody was flying with as though there was the person's wife. So that happens all the time. How many of you have seen this ad saying that Samsung free screen replacement? Right? Okay, so Krishna, you got it. Okay, so free screen replacement. We have seen that. So I would most likely, I will go buy a Samsung phone because I'll get one. Definitely, I'm going to drop the phone one day or the other. So I get a free screen replacement. So the promotion is the driver. All along, what are you doing? All along, you're changing the rules of the game. As long as you change the rules of the game, you come out as a winner in every particular instance. Let's take this for a moment and look at it. American Airlines gave a lifetime pass back in the 80s, correct? How many of you know, every time I bring up this subject, I forget the name of the movie. How many times do you guys know the movie called the George Clooney movie, Up in the Air? Absolutely. Up in the Air is all about making those premium air card, right? Yeah, so that's what it is. Premium miles that you go. Yeah, and yeah, we'll come to it. I do have another chart which talks about all this. That's a branding issue. When we talk about branding, I'll tell you why I would like to meet you in our next flight at the airport lounge. So I'll tell you that, okay, let's both meet up at the airport lounge. Why am I saying that let's meet at the lounge and not at the gate? Is because I'm telling you that I'm a frequent flyer. I have a lounge access and I am a much well-traveled guy. And that is the way that I want to market myself. So yeah, supermarkets will go for one thing, but we buy a lot. Very true. But hang on. Don't stop my thought of process. Let's look at this. Same product, but a different user. Everybody wants to use shampoo. But then a typical shampoo bottle costs 74, 75 rupees. Then you needed this guy. This guy is a very famous guy. Kevin Clean. C. Ranganathan or something is his name. The company is called Calvin Klein. Calvin Klein. Yeah, Calvin Klein. So what did this guy realize? Is that even the poor people want to shampoo their hair. So why would I want, they can afford it, but they can't afford the quantity. That was when he said that instead of a 74 rupee 100 ml bottle, I'm going to come up with a 1 rupee sachet. What is it? It's the same product, but a different user. Finally, we may have one more story to tell you. Look at this. Who doesn't know this? This failure story. There have been enough written on it, on this failure story. And failure from a company called Tata? Well, it happens. Product is fine. I doubt there is anything wrong with the product. The product definitely works fine. The pricing was brilliant. As a matter of fact, I was getting calls from all parts of the world and testing whether it was truly, I don't know, at that time, a 1,500 rupee or a 2,000 rupee product, $2,000 car. But brilliant pricing. Who could ever think of a pricing of 1 lakh? But there was something wrong with the product. The product was, it told you that, Mr. Ganapati, you cannot afford a car, and hence I'm going to give you a car that you can afford. You are, after all, a two-wheeler owning guy. You cannot afford a car. Let me make a car for your time. So whoever bought the car was guilty that he was buying a car which was a low-end car. So look at this thing. This guy says, my other car is a Jaguar. That means to say that I'm not as poor as you think. I have a bigger car sitting in my garage. What should have actually been is that this BMW guy should have put on his car saying that my other car is a Nano. I'm not an arrogant guy. I do care for the economy. I do care for high traffic. I have a more efficient, possibly more sleeker car at my home. They should have targeted that product very differently. So we now went through so many such cycles of example wherein everything looked good. Everything looked good, but some things went wrong. Same product, promotion is different, same product, different user. Product is fine, pricing is brilliant, but didn't work well. Look at this example. And I can tell you by experience. How can you doubt a General Motors product? Impossible. General Motors is a worldwide leader. And what did they do in India? They walked out of India. Their pricing was perfect. There can be nothing wrong with their pricing. Their pricing was perfect, but their credibility was bad. The credibility was really bad. Nobody was willing to take them for guaranteed. Most of them, and in specific myself, I bought a car, bought a GM car in the year 2002 or 2000 or something like that. And I asked them that, are you sure that this car model will not change for the next 2 years or 3 years so that I don't end up buying a lower version car? And that lady at the counter, she said, guarantee, sir, nothing is going to change. And 6 months later, they came up with another model. So frequent changes of the car, nobody would trust them. And look at this. Maruti had 5 CEOs in 35 years. GM had 9. Are you raising a hand, Vijay? You want to say something? Oh, it's that old hand that got raised.
Old, yeah.
Okay. Okay. Let me go through this on the next slide, and then I'll pause for a moment. Okay. Yeah. So Maruti had 5 CEOs for 35 years. Absolutely committed to India, committed, and they had Indians running the company. GM had 9 CEOs, and every CEO was an American. You did hear in the OT class the story of getting in what is that? Skin deep diversity or deep dive diversity or something like that, wherein what would an Indian looking American look like? Hey, Jasveer, you may have to, how do I mute her? Jasveer? Mute.
Yeah, sorry.
Okay, no problem. It happens all the time. Okay, so anyway, so product is fine, pricing is good, but no credibility. People don't want to buy. They don't take you seriously. They know that you will start changing. There's nothing wrong. I'll tell you one more story, which will probably add smile to all of us this evening. Is that when I had this, the car was called Opel Corsa. I had an Opel Corsa when I bought it. And within 2 years, it got changed. Within few years, nobody was willing to do. I was having major problems. Finally, I decided Opel Astra came before Corsa. So after Astra was Opel Corsa. That itself was a thing that nobody changes car. Maruti Alto has been there for, I don't know how many years, 20 years. But still, that is credibility. So when I wanted to sell my car, nobody was willing to buy my car. And I started begging second-hand car dealers to buy my car because how long can I continue? And finally, when one car dealer agent came to my house, looked at my car, he called his boss and said, "Boss, naya tire hai." Come on, man, you're buying my car. You're not buying that new tires in my car. But what I mean to say is I felt so cheated by GM that we felt that there was just no value for the product. So this is one such example that I want to say. Finally, the last of my series is that product is good, pricing is good, credibility is good. How can you ever doubt a Nokia phone? Excellent product. Pricing perfect. Credibility great. If you had a Nokia phone, and I always give this example, is that in the times when you were using Maruti Omni as taxis, I would get into a Maruti Omni car from my home, go to the airport, that was the old airport on HL Road, get down from the car and slide the door to lock it. In the process of sliding the door, my phone would fall. It will break into 2 or 3 pieces. I would just go pick it up, join it together and go. Absolutely credible phone. Nothing would go wrong with that phone. But why did Nokia die? Nokia died because it refused to listen to the customer. Every customer wanted a dual SIM. And Nokia said, I know you better than anybody else. You don't need a dual SIM. So dual SIM phones came, killed him out. Everybody knew that Symbian was a bad product, but Nokia was not willing to listen. Nokia believed that keyless phones would die. So here is the reason why marketing is important. Okay, I'm going to give you assignment number 1, which will again go back to it, is that you go back to that Excel sheet, which I'm going to fix it up later today. You have time till tomorrow evening to enter. I want you to identify a popular company which failed and give me a reason why it failed. And for you can't just pick up some Aira company and give me an example. It has to be a market leader which did very well and then failed. So that's your assignment now. All this and probably one more question that I'll ask you will all add up to 10 marks. Yeah, why are you sharing it? Write it in your under your heading. Okay, so you're just giving hints to somebody. Okay, so this plus your 140 character resume plus class assignment 1 plus class assignment 2 will total up to 10 marks, which is part of the main assignment number 1. So you are already attempting 10 out of the 30 assignment. Clear? So I take a break now. Questions so far?
Sir, I have one question. Like for this assignment, identify a present failed company. So how many words are required?
Don't give a long story. I'm sure you would identify. Okay, let's take Daud Hipagi saying that. So you identify Kodak. You say Kodak doing very well in photo films. Refused to see phones coming in with mobile phones with cameras, and their business died. That's all I want.
So 150 words are enough?
No. 50 words are enough.
Okay. Yeah.
150 character, 140 character is only for your resume.
Okay, okay.
Got it, guys? Everybody?
Yeah.
Sir, I got a question here.
Huh?
Yes, sir.
You didn't follow the question, so which means that you definitely understood it. Yeah, go ahead. Anybody wants to ask anything else?
This also we need to submit in Excel sheet tomorrow?
Yes. Because between now and the next couple of hours, I am going to enter column 1 and column 2 of that Excel sheet. Now, Sudarshan knows that his name is in row number 83. So he just has to go there, plug into roll number 83, his 140 character CV, and his answer to this assignment number 1. Similarly, Baswaraj will know that he is on top of the list at 13, and he'll just do that. Okay?
Okay.
It can be anything. Obviously, Shubhajit, it can be any company, a service-based company, a restaurant, anything. The more innovative you are, at some point, the company will become repetitive. We cannot have 120 companies.
Okay, and is it, sir, is it fine to discuss already discussed companies like Nokia or Ericsson?
What answer would you want me to give you? I'm asking you back. What answer do you want me to give you?
I think no.
Okay,
Or
so you
yes.
got it. Yes, the answer is no.
Okay.
Okay, so you got
And this should be done within 50 characters, right?
No, any character. There's no limitation on that. The limitation is only on the CD.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, so that's done. I have one example of a product that failed. How many of you know this Office Assistant Clippy? You guys won't know because you weren't even born there. Okay, good. There were 4 of you. Some of you who are not.
Yes, so we are aware. Okay.
Yeah, okay, you're well aware of it. Very nice. Okay. How many of you actually know that Kellogg's failed in India? You know what happened with Kellogg's was that
Mohan's story.
Huh?
Is it the Mohan's story?
No. I'll tell you the Kellogg story. The Kellogg story was even Mohan makings failed, but then they didn't care a damn. Kellogg's failed because Indians have a different way of having their milk. How many times has your mother or your parent shouted at you for drinking cold milk? Because in India, we are used to having hot milk. Because we believe that the milk that comes in the packet has to be heated before we consume. Now, when you put Kellogg's in hot milk, it becomes soggy and it becomes one big mold. It's just not friendly to eat. But in the rest of the world, your milk is in the refrigerator, you pull it out and you put cold milk on cornflakes. That's the way to eat it. Of course, now Kellogg's is a company that can afford, has actually tried to educate the customer on how they should have their Kellogg's. Oats, we have so many of them teaching us how to have oats. Then if you look at kiwi fruit, there was at one time an ad on how to scoop your kiwi so that you get the best of it. So many a time, companies enter into a market without understanding the customer's value or what the customer's culture is all about. So now, of course, Kellogg's might have even fine-tuned their product that the product can even hold on to hot milk. So these are examples of what failed. Okay. How many of you know this thing called Who Moved the Cheese? How many of you? Yes. Okay, good. I get 3 more and I have read it. Very good. Vivekananda. Good. So how many of you say no? Sudarshan is no. How many of you say no? So if there are a lot of no's, I will tell the story. Okay. So what happens? The story of who moved the cheese is a very interesting story. And let me, okay, stop. Let me tell you what the story is all about. The story is about few friendly mice staying in a cheese factory. So what happens is they land up in a cheese factory and they find a lot of cheese. After all, they live on cheese, right? So when they start eating, they have a good life. They don't have to struggle for a life. Everything is there, everything taken care. Go for a small walk here and there. Come back, eat some cheese. No hard work required, no hunting for food. Everything was taken care and life was going fine. But every day while they were eating cheese, the quantity of the cheese kept reducing. At one point, they realized that the cheese is over. So they started getting worried now. These two mouse, or they have names also, okay? These mice have names in that book. And you must read this book. It's a very, very thin book. It's a very nice book to read. So they start getting worried. Oh my God, what happened to the cheese? Who moved my cheese? Oh my God, there is a big problem. So one fellow says, "Ye hamara paap pichle janam ka karma hai, ki the cheese is not available." The other says, "No, the God is not merciful. We are praying the wrong God. We should not have prayed this God X. We should have prayed God Y. That is why the cheese has been moved out." So everybody starts giving 101 reasons as to why the cheese is missing from the place where there was. But one of them want to move out of that go down number 4 and say, "Let me go look for cheese somewhere else." So then one of the head mouse says, "You idiot, how can you ever step out of this world into a world of uncertainty? Don't you dare go out of this place. You will die." But the story goes on and on and on. And finally, one mouse moves out and it finds better quality cheese. One mouse moves out and finds bread instead of cheese. So why am I saying all this? Many a time we are stuck in our job. And many a time we are cursing our bosses for the disaster that we are in. We are cursing the industry for the shit that is happening to our lives. We are cursing everything else, but we are not taking responsibility on our own self. So the answer to that was, change happens all the time. Cheese keeps moving. Anticipate change. Don't take it for granted that you will get cheese tomorrow. Tomorrow, cheese may not be there. Okay? Smell the coffee is what they say. So smell the cheese. Maybe it's going to go up there. Adapt quicker. Don't like cheese too much. So as you move out of the telco industry, you must move into e-commerce industry. You must look at what is happening, the thing. And again, enjoy the change. For sometimes it is okay that you love cheese, but better get used to bitter gourd, because that's the only option available to you. Be ready to chase. So this is something that I want you all to remember, that this is a book that you must read. It gives you a feeling saying that don't blame everything on somebody else. Okay, some of the problems actually lie with you. Any questions on this? Find a book, read it. Otherwise, this is the story. Don't bother too much about it. Okay. And finally, marketing is a closed loop. Marketing is a closed loop. Input, process, output is an open feedback system. A closed loop system is a system in which you get an input. If you don't look at the small details, the input that is coming in or the feedback that is coming in, you are bound to fail, individually or as a company. So remember that what is marketing? Marketing is the connect between you and the customer and the feedback that you get from the customer. This said, we will now move into, what is the time? 3:43. That it gets over at 4:30, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, 4:30. Okay. So far, how are we doing? Any questions so far? Because I'm now going to move into a little more detail. Any questions? Good. Good so far. Okay. No guarantees in the future. Okay, good. Let's go ahead with this. We all know that there's no finance, there's no product, right? There is, yes, finance, no product. Obviously, what do you do with the money? You don't get any business. Yes, you have the finance, you have the product, you have no customer. What's the big deal? It happens all the time. Some of the finest apps are sitting there with no downloads. Is because you don't have a customer. How can you ever make a sale? Okay. That said, yes, finance, yes, product, yes, customer, yes, sales. No marketing means you don't know what your customer are thinking about you. You don't know what the customer feels about your product. If you don't have a customer feedback, then you may have sales today, but there's no sales tomorrow. If there is no sales tomorrow, there's no product. There's no product, there's no company, and obviously there's no salary. So marketing is everywhere. Marketing is, God is everywhere, and hence marketing is God. Anyone disagreeing with this, raise your hand. Okay, no, fair enough. Okay, we'll those who disagree, we'll continue to converse on it. So I have spent 1:30 to almost 2 hours bringing you to the subject of marketing. Now, an introduction to marketing. You know what is market? Market is a place where you guys meet up and do all kinds of business and all that. I'm not going to stick to this slide for too long. But if you look at it, marketing is a relatively a new concept. Markets existed, there was the, what markets? There were all kinds of markets. There was the silk market. There were all kinds of markets which were all there. But marketing as a term came up almost a little more seriously around the 1900s. But marketing has moved tremendously over the last 20, 30, 40 years. What does marketing involve? Are you first there was a marketplace because you knew that you go to a place like Chickpet or some other place, or you go to Gold Souk, you'll get gold there. Your word of mouth is the way in which your product gets branded. Then you had the first retail store. And inside the retail store, how do I get your attention? I have to pay money to make sure that my Kellogg's is sitting in front of Mohan Meakin's product, or my oats is sitting in front of Saffola. That was stocking of the items also involved marketing. Then we had cataloging going on. Now you guys are familiar with all of this. Google search. How many of us have actually gone to the 9th page of a Google search result to find out what we wanted? We got the top 3 and we were happy with it. So yeah, obviously nobody's going to go. And many a time you go to the 9th page, you're likely to be disappointed. Obviously, right? So Google search is all about how do you ensure that you're hanging on there in the 3rd page. So that is why you have the word called search engine optimization. Then you have AdWords. Then you have Gmail doing predictability. It's actually Google reading your mail, and then in your message, Yadav is sending to Rahul saying that let's go to a movie. And then Google reads that message and then flashes up by bookmyticket.com ad. So that is predictability. And then, of course, there's a whole lot of sales for designing and all that going. So marketing is just about everywhere. How many of you know this? And how many of you want me to explain this? Adam, Eve, and the snake.
I know.
Yeah. So who is the marketer here?
The snake.
Yeah. So what did the snake say? The snake said that eat this apple and you will have a wonderful life. So he was selling himself. And you know what happened to Adam and Eve? They got thrown out of the garden, the Eden garden, and rest is all. We are the children of Adam and Eve. That's another story. Look at this. Look at this. Look at all of, who are these guys on the left? Each one of them are religious heads. What are they telling you? They are marketing themselves left, right, and center. I don't mean to insult any one of them, but they are saying left, right, and center. What are they telling you? They are telling you that pray today. In your next life, you're going to have a wonderful living. They are telling you that I guarantee you that you will have a wonderful life in heaven if you follow my religion, if you follow my preaching and the practices that I suggest. Safest business, because there's no customer feedback, no customer complaints, because once they are gone, the customer is gone. Right? Look at these set of guys. Each one of them are just marketing themselves. They're saying, vote for me, I'll do this. Vote for me, I'll do that. So everybody is marketing. Everybody is marketing. The finest examples of marketing is Socrates, Pluto, and very true. Yeah, Socrates, Pluto, Aristotle, each of them were great marketers. Now I get into the first point of our technical part of the marketing at almost 350 or so, right? Quite a long road to a conversation. Look at this graph carefully. This graph says that when price falls, consumption rises. Correct? We all know it. We all know it. Anybody doubting that? We'll talk about it later. Yes, if the price of a product is 100 rupees, then you can sell 1,000 numbers of them. But if you make the price of the product as 80 rupees, not 1,000, you can sell 1,300 of them. If you make the price of the product 75 rupees, not 1,000, not 1,300, you can sell them 1,500. So this is a given market chart, which everybody knows, and there is no denials of it, that when price falls, consumption rises. This is a given fact. Now let's look at variations to this conversation. What is the first variation? That there are 3 variations that can happen. When price falls, consumption rises is one standard fact, which is in the blue line. But I am saying that when price falls, consumption also falls. That means that if the product was 1,000 rupees and you sold 100 of them, if you make the product 800, you don't sell more, you sell less. There is a third example where price rises and the consumption rises. That means that if the product was 100 rupees and you were able to sell 10 of them, the moment you make the product 120, you don't sell 10, you start selling 15. Now, what is this contradictory statement? How exactly am I asking you? So let's look at one possible example of all the 3 of them. The first example is price fall, consumption rises. Obviously, the price of rice falls, the price of consumption will rise. Obviously, there'll be more people buying rice if rice is cheaper. Price falls, consumption falls. Can any one of you give me a definition of price falls, consumption falls?
This is basically for premium products. Like when you take Mercedes, BMW, when they slash the prices or when they try to introduce a lower end model, so the demand decreases. So they try to focus a different target audience.
Perfect. Fair enough. Good example. Anybody else wants to give another example?
Maybe electronic items.
Mhm.
Sometimes if some brands are there, if just to sell off your product, like local brand,
Yeah,
they'll try
Mary,
to
hang
get
on. Yeah. Good example. Good example. Now, what do you give me your example, Mary? Cosmetics.
I think a lot of women, I think when the cosmetic price goes down, they feel the quality is not good. So
Very
they may
nice.
not
Very
go
good.
for
Very
it.
good. So just because you stock clearance, obviously all three of you gave the same good example, is that just because you lower the price, I don't guarantee a sale. You know, there was huge sale of product. What is that? I forgot. I mean, it's a long time since I touched my own car. So Bharat 4, Bharat 4. What is that? The auto industry had to move out of BS4. Yeah, they had to move from BS4 to BS5, right?
Bharat Standard. It's called
BS6, BS4 to BS6.
They had to go to BS6.
BS6.
So BS4 cars were available at highly discounted prices. But why would I be your junkyard, Mr. Maruti or Mr. Renault, just because you have to junk your product, you're giving me at a lower price? I wouldn't buy it. So consumption, you're perfectly right. All of you coming out some brilliant answers on prices fall, consumption. Now give me the other one. Prices rises, consumption rises.
Face mask.
The same
Quality
thing. BS6
of the product.
I know.
compared to
Yeah.
BS4.
That's probably one example, but not really. Think of another one.
Petrol, diesel.
Okay, I'm going to talk about petrol, diesel in a different way, but who said that, petrol and diesel?
Jasveer.
Okay, then hang on to your thought. But give me another one in which, Ravi, what is your thought on that?
Gold is an example.
Okay, you mean to say when VV Puram snack items, okay.
Onions?
Why would price of VV Puram snack item, hang on, all of you keep typing, hold your thoughts. Why would price of that would go up? Yeah, I think Rahul is...
Consumer goes up. I mean, the customers goes up, so the price goes up.
Okay, fair enough. Okay,
I guess because of the pandemic, it's now carving to eat up, so people are rushing over there.
Yeah, I think Rahul was almost there, but Rahul, can you define what were you trying to say?
Okay, during pandemic, sir, the price of the whatever the alcohol consumption is.
No. Okay. I thought you almost got it there. Okay, it's like this.
One is based on need also. For example, like in north, there are temperatures are so very high. So even though the prices of ACs are increasing, so people still buy based on their needs.
No. The criteria is prices rises, consumption also rises.
So, sir, in the current situation of
I'll tell you,
pandemic,
hang on. I'll give you one example, then you give me another example. Is that, assuming that Rahul decides to call me home for a drink, and I want to carry a bottle of wine, there are two products, one which says 600 rupees and another product which says 800 rupees. And if I want to be nice to Rahul, I believe that the 800 rupees product is better than the 600 rupee product. That's an assumption. So we believe that by paying a higher price, you might actually be paying a higher quality for the product, and hence the prices may go up. iPhone does it all the time. The moment they tweak their product and increase the price, and all of a sudden you believe that there is some gizmo which is added up that does it to it. Okay. So that said, share market, yeah, possibly, I don't know. Yeah, so this said, if you guys got all these three right, I was supposed to answer the question on the fuel price increase. Okay, the fuel price is a very funny thing. The government of India is actually not reducing the cost of fuel because even though the cost of crude oil is going down, is because it's such a necessity that you will accommodate your own budget and you have a mentally set frame saying that the price of fuel is around 70 to 75 rupees. So when it goes down, also they are not reducing the price and they're keeping it so that all the time it's between 70 to 74. They either make good money or they make little money. So that is because you have mentally, you go to fill up the fuel, you know that the price of fuel will be between 70 and 74, irrespective of what the market is behaving. So, but let's not lose focus on it. So this said, if you've understood the whole thing, you have understood that price to consumption is not a linear curve, it's a non-linear curve because of the word marketing. Why do you buy apples from vendor number A and not from vendor number B, even though you know that both the vendors are sourcing it from the same place? Is because either vendor number A is more better dressed, or vendor number A has organized his apples better, or he has cleaned the place around it, or he has put a nice board saying apples, is because hence, while both the vendor A and vendor B are selling the same apples, people buy from a particular vendor because of an element called marketing. So now get it right. The first time in our conversation we are using the word marketing is because marketing is the only thing which makes the price to consumption curve a linear curve into a non-linear curve. Is that clear to every one of you? And there is only one king of marketing, Kotler on marketing. This is the book that you have to read. Kotler on marketing, or Kotler Marketing Edition 3.0, Edition 7, 8, 9, doesn't matter. Whichever you pick it up, you pick it up. Now the question is, sir, how do I get it? I'll be very straight with you. These cost a bomb. And you obviously can buy them, or even a Kindle version, or you can even buy a hard copy version. But all of you are smart folks. You know where these books are, and you know how to download them. Go try them out and download it for yourself. So I hope you guys know how to do it, right? Okay. Yeah, because I cannot be giving you the links because that will be very unfair on more than one thing. Yeah, Amazon is a place to buy it, but there are many other places in which you can otherwise also get access to. Okay. So finally, marketing is a human nature. You and I are marketing all the time. This is recorded. Okay. Delete your words, or let's clip it. Okay. Marketing is a human nature. Everybody is marketing themselves all the time. I marketed myself yesterday. I marketed myself for the last 15 minutes to let you know that I'm a competent enough guy to present myself the subject of marketing. I am asking you guys to use the best of your witty skills and skills of brevity to market yourself in a CV of 140 characters and see how it works. So all of us are marketing ourselves. So we are marketing all the time. We are marketing to our bosses. We are marketing to our children. Our children are marketing to us. We fail miserably trying to market ourselves to our spouses because they can always see through us very, very well. And so that is what the world of marketing is. So welcome to the world of marketing. And now marketing all works like this. You will be doing customer analysis. You will be talking about advertising. You will be talking about sales, promotion, everything. And I'm going to give this a skip for now and get into types of marketing. What are the products which are marketed? A city or a nation is marketing. Obviously, you know, the moment I say God's own country, you don't think of Timbuktu, or you don't think of Bangladesh, you only think of one place, right? So it happens all the time. A Kapil Sharma show is the best idea of an individual marketing his own product. An event is all the time, right? I can't think of an event right away. An IPL is an event. We market an event all the time. Political, needless to say, we have Abki Bar, Modi Sarkar, or whatever, there's Trump now, or whatever that is. Then social marketing happening all the time. Right now, we are bombarded with lots and lots of examples of social marketing. Typically, if I were to see you in class, make America great again, correct. If I were to see you in class, I would actually take a 10-minute break and tell you that you will have a few examples to write. So write for yourself a few examples. Think of what all gets marketed, what all does happen in the world of marketing. And who are the kings of marketing? Richard Branson. How many of you know him? What does Richard Branson do? What does Richard Branson do for a living?
Virgin CEO.
Virgin CEO, right? Yes. And Richard Branson is always marketing himself. I mean, he's a maverick CEO. We also had a maverick CEO like Richard Branson in the name of Vijay Mallya. He would do that, Vision 2030. Elon Musk is marketing himself sometimes very dangerously, correct? Right. Okay, by the way, Elon Musk heads an industry sector in which I have been all the time there. My company, we are in the business of satellite and satellite services. So he also has SpaceX. So I was referring to SpaceX. My company does activities a fraction of what Elon Musk does, but that's another day. Steve Jobs is marketing himself all the time. Patanjali Baba Ramdev is marketing himself all the time. Can you think of somebody else? Can you guys type a couple of names? The moment you say the name, the company or the product comes to mind. Ambani, I know. Yeah, I think to some extent, the moment I think of Hema Malini, I think of Kent Mineral Water.
Vijay Mallya.
Vijay Mallya, yeah.
I can give one more example of Isha Foundation, Sadhguru.
Sadhguru, yes, he's marketing. That's a brilliant one. Yes. Yeah, so you guys are all there. Shri marketing himself, correct. So that said, there's something called branding. Okay, thanks, good. I'm not very sure on Sunil Joshi's thought, but we'll leave it at that. Okay, so marketing beyond brands. Look at this. How many of you are willing to pay $2,999 for an US Polo t-shirt, which has US Polo written loud and big on it, or diesel written on it, or I don't know, whatever, being human written on it? And how much are you willing to pay for a finest quality cotton shirt from Ramraj with Ramraj written loud on it? Would you pay anything for it? No, because US Polo has a branding which is so heavy that you are branding for them. You are branding for them. You are the brand ambassador. You are the one who's advertising for them. So the point is, the bigger the company, the lesser they spend on advertisement. How much of advertisement does Apple spend on their product compared to what Vivo is spending, or what is this? What is the possibility that Apple may sponsor an IPL one day? Impossible, right? They wouldn't care a damn because you are the promotion. I always say this, and I love saying this. I'm going to ask you a quiz question, and let's see who comes out with the answer very, very quickly. You're in a typical airport. You're at the airport, and you have these guys. They've just announced the boarding, and everybody is going to going to the gate and standing in the queue. The last and final call is announced. And since I see Karthik name right there, I'm going to use Karthik as an example. And here is Karthik running with his bag. He goes there, and there are some people in waiting at the on the chairs or the whatever it's called, benches for the other flight. Karthik sits there as though he's a man of great hurry. He opens his laptop bag, takes the laptop out, opens the laptop just for a few seconds, as though he's typing out some all-important message, and then he shuts it down. What is the likely brand of that laptop?
Apple.
Any other? Can it be a Lenovo? Can it be a Dell? Can it be Eyeball? I don't know. It cannot be.
No.
That's the power of the brand. That's the power of the brand. That is when a brand becomes an addiction. You have Harley Davidson tattooed on your hand. There was a discussion on tattoo in your previous subject. But what do you think of a person who's got Harley Davidson? I mean, he could have written 101 things. But then you are promoting a brand. That is what brands do. Brands are, and these brands, they don't spend on advertisement. And why do they do? It's because they love their customers. They do anything. They are so closely connected with the customers that they and the customer sync so very, very well. Okay. So finally, 2 points on why you dislike marketing and why you like marketing. Dislike marketing, obviously, is because they make you spend where you cannot. If you flash your iPhone and tell me, oh, iPhone 5, oh man, it's time you change it to an iPhone 11. And the moment I said that, you will never again pick up the phone when you are sitting next to me. Okay? And brand differentiating where it doesn't exist. Bisleri versus Kinley, what difference does it have? Both are water. But they create a feeling of some difference. Right? And you know, there is this guy, I remember, I always loved that ad which said, Manik Chand came out with water. They said Manik Chand mineral water, which said more oxygen per liter. Now, if you put more oxygen, it will not be water, it might kill you. But then it's somehow they were trying to do some kind of a brand differentiator where it doesn't exist. And why you dislike marketing is because marketing throwing a lot of junk at us. Yes. Marketing is throwing a lot of junk at us, and we don't care for the earth. I mean, look at the amount of packing that goes in the materials that come to you. I always wonder, why do we have to pay for the garbage that our shipments, our products carry? If I ask for a book, I must pay for the book, not for the packing of the book or getting rid of the package that came from the book. Actually, Amazon should say that the book costs $3.99 and we're giving it to you for $3.49 because you're paying 50 rupees to get rid of the garbage. But that is what is the problem with marketing, is that they don't care for earth. And second is they promote materialistic lifestyle. If you don't buy yourself, there is what is called, what is the word? Revenge buying. You know what is the word? I think there's some word called revenge buying. What is revenge buying or something like that? Is that it seems post-pandemic in China, people started rushing to the shops because they were so frustrated that they couldn't buy anything that they went on an overbuy. So it promotes materialistic, revenge buying will happen in India as well. Yeah, it happens all the time. But that's post-pandemic. Illegal, who cares what? Selling you pan parag, or selling you cigarettes, or selling you alcohol. It's illegal, but who cares? Who cares a damn? As long as my company is happy, you are happy. What is the problem? That's the excellent relationship between customer and the company. Both are happy souls. But who cares whether it's illegal or legal? Then social discrimination. of course, I always like the social discrimination. You pay 40,000 rupees for an IPL seat. You not only get to watch Kohli, and you also get to have a drink with him later in the evening. So these are dislikes of marketing. Then like of marketing. Marketing builds your lifestyle. You know there's a better product. Right now, you promote business because the more the sales, more the jobs, more the general money in the pocket. Marketing brings awareness. Eradicate polio is an awareness. There are a lot of social awareness and obesity and diabetes. You think twice before saying 2x3 coffee, 1 sugarless. Okay, so somewhere along, all these ads are hitting you, right? And marketing is reviving some old thoughts. You know which was the most popular cereal in the first 1 month of the lockdown.
Is Ramayana?
Yes, obviously. So it's a remarketing of a dead episodes were all coming up because the graying audience were all getting out there. So this said, let's get to the subject. This is what I'm going to teach you. This is what we're going to spend the next 18 minus 3 is how much? 15 hours. We're going to talk about marketing. We are talking about market decision making. We are going to talk about product concepts. We'll talk about segmentation. We'll talk about responsibilities, promotions, all this. I just picked it up from somewhere. Don't go by the page numbers or the numbers next to it. It's just to give you an idea of what we are discussing. Okay. So we will have, we'll understand definitions, we'll understand implications. I'll give you lots of case stories like I told you today. There'll be lots of stories. There'll be lots and lots of Harvard business case stories that we will talk about. We'll also talk about lots of classical business stories from my own experience. I'm gray enough to tell you lots of stories. And the more you absorb, the more I'll deliver. The more I mean, it's like a band. I mean, you pull more, you stretch more. Okay. I'll try to make your journey as fruitful and as funny and as entertaining and equally learning as possible. So this is our journey. Am I done? I don't think so. Okay. So far we're getting into it. What is the time? Almost 4:16. I've got another 10 minutes. Now, I always believe if I put a slide which said this, I want to stand by that slide. There's that slide. Oh my God, we've gone so deep. Okay. I always stand by this slide. So here is what I want your feedback. One, speed of my conversation, speed of slide movement. Is there anything that you guys believe I need to overstress or want to go forward, or are you guys doing fine? Doing fine is what can I assume? All good. Okay. So we discussed this part of it. All perfect. Good. Stop. Okay. Goods, services, all of this, you have examples of it. Let us go there. You need to understand this flow very well. If you don't understand this flow, we are not moving further. There are some places in which I'm going to permanently stop till each one of you have understood. Because if you don't understand this, the rest of our conversation is not there. I want you to understand that the entire economy is connected. You as a buyer, you as a manufacturer, you as the government, all of you are connected in a very, very intricate manner. So if the customer wants to buy something, he will give his money to the intermediary market. The intermediary market could be a store, could be a jewelry shop. He will then give it to a manufacturer, or this is probably, now let's change the example. The customer wants to buy a car. He goes to a Hyundai dealer. He then gives him some money. The Hyundai dealer goes and gives that money to a manufacturer. The manufacturer then takes it up and gives it to the guy who has got the resources. The resources gives it back to the manufacturer. Manufacturer gives it back to the intermediary, and it happens. In between, there is something called the government. The government takes money from you at every time that you are having a transaction. So this is the key to a perfectly structured economy. Is that clear?
So can you briefly explain what is a resource market? Is that the spare parts or?
Yeah, absolutely. It could be anything. It could be anything. It could be raw material. It could be spare parts. It could be, assuming that, who is asking the question?
Vijay here, sir.
Okay, it could be Vijay wanting to sub-lead or wanting to give out his office IT services out. So you go ahead and contact a HR guy. The HR guy is the intermediary guy. The intermediary guy goes to IT services company. The IT services company then goes to the colleges, which are the resources for all the upcoming IT students. And then these resources come to you, and the consumers also contribute to the fact that there are resources. In between, there are all these tax and services and goods and all those things that's happening. Fair enough?
So can you explain the flow from consumer market to resource markets, how the money and resources flow?
Depends on what you want to buy. Depends on what you want to buy. You want to buy I'm just trying to give a nicer example so that you understand it well. Okay, you want to buy yourself a dosa. And you know, there's some very fine places for dosa. So what do? You call Swiggy. Swiggy goes to MTR. MTR goes to India Gate Basmati rice manufacturer and pulls up the rice. Correct? So you got one cycle. But you may want to make dosa yourself. So you might go to India Gate Basmati rice and then buy the rice from them. So everybody can connect it from anywhere.
Mm-hmm. Got it. Yeah.
But sir, a question is like how money is coming back to consumer again from resource market.
Yes, because at the end of the day, who is the consumer? The consumer could be you, or the consumer can be an entity. If it is a B2B market, you know what is a B2B and a B2C market?
Business to business.
Business to business and business to consumer.
Business to consumer.
So in a B2B market, what is a B2B market? Where there is business to business transaction. The manufacturer is at one end, the consumer himself could be a manufacturer, consumer himself can be an intermediary market. So here in such a cycle, the consumer is a /B2B consumer. Made sense? Didn't make sense.
Yeah.
Maybe a farmer, sir. The farmer is actually a consumer as well as the manufacturer.
Absolutely. And then Preeti, if you're not convinced, my job is to convince you by saying it in many different ways. So you go ahead and raise a flag. You just don't have to say so just because I said that.
No, I was done. I think there was another question after mine. So
yeah, okay. No, I'm just telling you that
sure.
You as an example, but pointed at everybody else. It doesn't have to be that I explain to you the second time. You have to understand it.
Sure.
I can explain it the third time. Okay, good. So if you guys have understood this, how many more slides do I have and how much more time do I have? Okay. The same thing in another way. Okay, but we'll not go there. How many of you know this? Are we done with this? Oh, 1, 2, no. Okay, I'm going to stop after this. This is called the Maslow's Pyramid of Needs. How many of you don't know it?
I don't know.
Okay. Good enough. Good enough. How many of you know it?
I have seen this.
Yeah, so the ones who know teach the not know. My job is done. Okay, no, I was just joking. Okay, right. See, there's a very interesting twist to this story, but I'll say that. Okay, every man has a need. But before we get to this, I'm going to ask you this. What is the difference between need, wants, and demands? What is a need? What is a want? What is a demand? Which is
basic for our survival.
What is basic for a survival? Need.
That is need.
Need is
Yeah. And what is want?
That is something which I want, but it's not needed at that moment for me to survive.
What you desire.
That's good. Bisleri is what you need. I mean, water is what you need, and bisleri is what you want.
Bisleri is your want.
Okay, Raghav Prasad, I want you to complete this sentence. Bisleri, water is a need, bisleri is a want, and dash is a demand. You have to complete it.
Yeah.
Yeah, purifier is okay. I thought you would say, yeah, good enough. I'll take that. Is that
I can give one more example, sir. So, food is needed, and burger is a want, and extra cheese something I demand.
Perfect. That's it. So you guys are now very knowledgeable students. Yeah. So there you go. Perfect. Want and demand. Okay. There you go. Need, want, and demand. You want rice, you prefer fried rice, but then you want fried rice made out of, I don't know, some dawat rice or something like that. So that's it. Perfect, perfect. So you guys got this. So I now go back to it. So every man has a set of needs. Every man has a set of needs. These needs depend on which stage of your life are you in. If you are struggling to survive, if you are struggling day by day to survive and you are in the absolute bottom of the pyramid, as you saw during the initial lockdown, is that the lowest of the lowest were struggling for their basic needs, food, water, and rest. But you were wondering, what the hell are they doing? Why can't they just sit in a place like I and my family are and watch some nice Netflix and Z5 and Patal Lok and all that? Is because you are not in that need stage. You are not in the psychological stage of the Maslow's pyramid. Again, when you look at it, somebody who has got food and water, have you seen that these small urchins, when somebody gives them a loaf of bread, other children come and try to snatch it from them, other street urchins? So while you may have addressed one need of the person in the lowest of the hierarchical needs, he still has a slightly higher need, is the safety. How do I ensure that the food, water, and the place to stay is secure for me? So that comes the second stage. The third stage is where I have no fear of basic needs. My basic needs are taken care. And I have a house, and a house has a lock. So I have no problem with the second. But then I want to have good friends. Man is a social animal. If I don't have friends, I'll feel lonely. Most of us are going through that places because we are fed up with the faces that we have been seeing for the last 4 months. It's our own or our spouses or our kids or whoever it is. So man is a social animal. We need intimate relationship. We need intimate friends. We want to be loved. We want to bond ourselves. And beyond that, if you have all this, you go with your friends for an evening walk, or you want to just chat around sometime, You want to show that you've got a new car. You want to show that you have an iPhone. You want to show that you have a nice pair of gold earrings on you. Why? It's because you want to show them that you have achieved something in your life. That's why once you're in your 30s or in your early 35s or so, you say, I want to buy a house. But you never want to buy a house when you're 23, 24 or just in a job. It's because that is not your factor. Your factor is, I want to make sure my job is steady for the next 2 years. Then once your job is steady, you want to see that I get a good friend, I have some good partner and all that thing. Then beyond all this, what's life? Beyond all this is when you receive this feeling of saying that all done, everything done. I have nothing to complain. I have got everything in my world. Now I want to be known to the world beyond my own life. I've reached a position of self-actuation. I want to give away all this. Now look at what Bill Gates is doing with all his money. Bill Gates is not using the money to build a better Windows. I only wish he did that. But unfortunately, he's not. But he's using all his money because he's beyond all this. For him, it doesn't matter if he has a Ferrari or what that. He is beyond all this. He wants to be known as somebody who's left a mark in his own lifetime. So this is Maslow's hierarchy of needs. If you get this, you get one of the very fundamental point of a discussion on marketing. Are you guys clear on this?
Yes, sir.
Yes. Now, hang on. Stop. Now, I am going to tell you a product. Tell me where is it falling under. I have a new I've got into manufacturing bread. Where do I fall under? Who is the target audience? Who's it? Psychological. Okay, now I have a company which is looking for angel investors. Yeah, self-actuation, right? I have a shadi.com. Where do I fall under?
Love and belonging.
Love and belonging.
Absolutely. Yeah, got it. However slow you say so. Okay. So, Prasanna, it's time for you to change your car. I think, where does he fall under?
Esteem.
Exactly. So now you understand how do you, now assuming that you want to sell intimate relationship, that's shadi.com. What if you put that under a auto magazine? Do you think it'll make sense? No, because you are addressing a wrong audience. So in our next classes, we are almost done. In the next classes, we'll talk about how do we use all these to make a better product sale. So I'm done for now. Last closing remarks. I'm going to fix that problem. I'm extending it to next Saturday. That means that I'm taking your class on next Sunday. Whenever I'm taking your class, 5 minutes before the next class, I want that to be filled up. Okay? I'll tell you, I'll take care of all of that. And there's question 1 and question 2. I think there's only question 1. Give an example of a bad company that failed. I want you to fill up your CV and a bad company example. Then we will do it. And as I said, that will give you 10 marks out of the 30 of assignment 1.
So we will be notified when that is fixed, like that is up, so that we can go and start filling them.
You can assume that it will be fixed by midnight Monday.
Sure. What was the example for safety? I missed that point.
Safety is housing possibly, or safety is a money in a bank would give you safety, or you opening up a deposit in a bank account, or the fact that you have a contract with, you are a customer, you are a company, and you have a long-term contract with your company, or your company says that we'll employ you for 2 years, so your safety is taken care of.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
Yeah. Your mail ID, so I can send you Excel personally. You missed my earlier slide. You will get this. Shall we get this PPT on file? Yes, yes, you will get it. You will get it. Okay.
So where will the form
This is
will
your
be saved?
assignment too. This is your assignment too. Identify an individual for each of the stages of the Maslow's pyramid. Whatever I said, you can go ahead and try to, you have to enter it so that I know that you have understood it. Clear?
Can you repeat your question once again?
My class assignment 2, as you can see on the screen, says that identify an individual for each of the stages of the Maslow's pyramids. I want you to identify an individual, like an individual that I mentioned in the name of Bill Gates for the top of the pyramid. And so you can say people below the poverty line as an example for the first stage. Okay?
Okay, sir. Yes, sir.
So what is the deadline for this?
Deadline for this is 5 minutes before my next class.
Okay.
And sir, the first one, the name, the intro, and the other thing. Is the deadline tomorrow?
No, everything is because I as you guys said, I need to fix it up. I'll tell you, the problem is that I want to make it as interactive as possible. So I need to fix it up. So I'll make sure that, as you guys, looks like 120 guys tried to attack the poor Google spreadsheet. It just
So one more question, like intro we have to write in Excel sheet, and what about the other two queries like failed company and this Maslow's?
The same Excel sheet. It will be the same Excel sheet.
But doesn't it look too lengthy in Excel sheet?
I'll take care of it. Don't bother.
Okay.
I'll take care of it. As you said, for all you know, I might come out with a better mechanism. Somebody said do Google Forms. I'll just see what works best, and I'll.
Sir, you can try Quip also.
What's that?
Quip.
How do you spell it?
Q as in Queen, U as in uniform, I as in India, P as in Peter.
Oh, what does Quip do?
It is a platform where we can save the data, and it gets saved like 100 people can save together.
Okay.
And it will not get disturbed.
Yeah. Let me look at Quip, and we'll work that out. So.
And also, sir, how are you going to inform us regarding when exactly it is ready to be updated?
All of you are on WhatsApp group, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
Jab WhatsApp hai, what's the problem?
Okay.
Sir, if you are talking about the WhatsApp group, that's the one group which is common to everyone, right? So that's the one, or is there any group?
No new group. That's the group started by the Dan and Sagal.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, sir. Thank you.
Okay, good. Guys, I hope you enjoyed the session. All the best, and see you soon.
Sure.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Have a good day. Thank you. Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Bye.
Thank you.